Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week International. A truck driver has been sentenced to 2 years in prison this week following his conviction for smuggling ancient artifacts into England from Bulgaria. According to reports, 41-year-old Dimitar Dimitrov was arrested after 2 packages were found in his truck at the port of Dover in October of last year. The packages were hidden in a trailer full of pants and contained artifacts such as ancient coins, spearheads, statues, and pendants. An investigation revealed that Dimitrov was working as a courier for a Bulgarian organized crime group, which planned to try and sell the items to antique collectors in London. The total value of the artifacts was estimated to be more than £76,000, or roughly $104,000 US. According to authorities, the illegal excavation of antiquities is an ongoing problem in Bulgaria, and local officials are attempting to crack down on these kinds of operations that rob the country of its cultural history. Organized crime groups, such as the one that Dimitrov worked for, are notorious for using the proceeds from stolen and smuggled artifacts to fund all sorts of other illegal activities.
Paris police were left a little embarrassed last Friday when it was reported that a pink, powdery substance seized in a massive drug bust was confirmed to be nothing more than some harmless candy. The police had proudly reported the seizure on their social media account 2 days earlier, saying that their raid had resulted in €1 million worth of MDMA and ecstasy being taken off the street. However, testing of the pink powder revealed that it was actually strawberry toccata, a very popular candy in France made by the company Haribo. Despite the setback, police have been able to save face a little bit, as a suspect arrested during the raid was still found in possession of 23 stolen cell phones, as well as a press that could have been used to manufacture ecstasy tablets.
A Polish mayor could be looking at up to 5 years in prison after he allegedly shot a protected bison and tried to sell its head as a hunting trophy. According to reports, 22-year-old Remigiusz Czunjik initially reported the crime to police in November of 2019, telling them that he had stumbled across the animal's carcass while out looking for deer antlers with a friend. Police were immediately suspicious because deer do not shed their antlers until March, and began to question the mayor's story. Czunjik proceeded to change his story several times, eventually saying that he had shot the animal, but that he had mistaken it for a wild boar. Investigators were also skeptical of these claims, as Czunjik himself had previously told the media during an interview that it was impossible to mistake a bison for a smaller animal. Instead, police believe the young mayor killed the animal intentionally, and only reported the crime after his attempts to sell the head as a prized hunting trophy proved unsuccessful. The case has caused significant public outrage, not only because bison are a protected species, but because this one in particular was known to the community. It had affectionately been nicknamed Spud because it enjoyed eating potatoes from the fields of nearby farms. There are between 1,500 and 2,000 bison total in Poland, and they are now under strict protection after being hunted to near extinction in the 20th century. However, their rarity has made them a prime target for poachers. Czunjik has now been charged with the unlawful killing of a protected species, making false statements, poaching, and illegal possession of weapons and ammunition. The charges were filed after bullets found in the bison were matched to his hunting rifle.
On Monday, a terrifying incident unfolded in Haiti's capital city of Port-au-Prince when the Belize national soccer team was held up by armed gunmen after arriving for their World Cup qualifier. The incident occurred shortly after the team had landed, while the team bus was driving from the airport to their hotel. Despite the fact that the bus had a police escort, it was still stopped by a group of armed men on motorbikes. Thankfully, no one was injured, and the police were able to negotiate with the armed men in order for the bus to continue on its journey. Haiti has been in a state of emergency since March 18th and is in the midst of serious political and economic turmoil ahead of several important elections in the coming months. Belize's Soccer Federation released a statement following the incident, expressing their disappointment and disgust with the situation.
This week, authorities in Spain announced charges against a male adult film star, alleging that he is partially responsible for the death of a man during a bizarre ceremony involving toad venom. According to reports, 47-year-old Ignacio Horta Gonzalez, who goes by the screen name Nacho Vidal, held a ritual at his home in July of 2019 that involved inhaling venomous vapors from the burning scales of the Bufo alvarius toad. The venom is known to have hallucinogenic effects which are 4 to 6 times more powerful than DMT, but can be dangerous if inhaled in too large of an amount. A photographer who took part in the ceremony died, and an investigation found Gonzalez responsible as he was in control of the situation and was supposed to be directing the other participants. Gonzalez has been charged with reckless homicide and could face up to 4 years in prison if convicted.
Authorities in Uganda say that they have arrested 4 suspects this week in connection with the death of 6 lions in one of the country's most famous national parks. According to reports, the lions were discovered last Friday and their heads and paws had been removed. Several dead vultures were also found at the scene, and it was believed that the animals had been poisoned to death by illegal wildlife traffickers. The suspects were arrested as part of a joint operation between the Uganda People's Defense Force, local police, and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. Following their arrest, the suspects showed police where they had hidden the animals' body parts. Hunting equipment believed to have been used by the poachers was also recovered from one of the suspects' homes. Officials say that they are saddened by these types of killings, which affect tourism in Uganda and by extension, the country's economy. The money generated is a vital part of the ongoing conservation effort of Uganda's wildlife.
This week, a British tourist learned the hard way that Japan is not messing around when it comes to its littering laws. On Monday, 37-year-old Anthony Tanaka was arrested on charges of violating Japan's waste management law after he dumped the garbage from his finished bento box into a mailbox outside Kamakura City Hall in Kanagawa Prefecture. He reportedly told the arresting officer that he thought the mailbox was a trash can. Authorities, however, found Tanaka's story hard to believe. Post office boxes in Japan are generally labeled in both Japanese and English, and this particular mailbox was apparently no exception. The strange incident highlighted a fact that is often unknown to tourists when they first arrive in Japan. Trash cans are extremely rare to find in public spaces in the country. Japanese people generally do not eat in these spaces, and if they do, they are accustomed to taking their garbage with them back home or to the nearest place where it can be disposed of. The law that Tanaka violated carries a potential penalty of up to 5 years in prison or a fine of up to 500,000 yen, or roughly $4,600 US. However, these high penalties are generally geared more towards commercial violations, so it is unlikely that Tanaka will face consequences quite so severe. Still, we're guessing that he won't be testing the rules in Japan again anytime soon.
Last Friday, it was reported that a brutal attack had been carried out on law enforcement officers in the state of Mexico, resulting in the deaths of 13 people. The incident took place in broad daylight last Thursday when gunmen from a suspected drug gang ambushed a police convoy in the town of Coatepec Arenas. The armed men unleashed a hail of gunfire at the convoy, killing 8 state police officers and 5 prosecution investigators. The terrifying attack is the most deadly of its kind to take place in the country since October of 2019, when 14 state police officers were killed in a similar fashion in the state of Michoacan. Authorities say that they are still searching for the perpetrators behind Thursday's attack and that they plan to respond with force. It is so far unclear which of the country's drug cartels could be behind the attack, as well as how many of the attackers were wounded or killed as part of the ambush.
This week, authorities in the Colombian city of Cali announced that they had made an arrest in the truly disturbing murder and kidnapping case of a pregnant Venezuelan woman. According to reports, 49-year-old Mariluz Mosquera is accused of orchestrating the killing of 28-year-old Dilexis Valacios, also that she could steal the young woman's baby in order to continue receiving financial support from her late husband's family. The shocking crime took place on September 8, 2020, when Mosquera allegedly lured Julexis to her home with the promise of giving her free clothes for the child she was expecting. Investigators say that she and a male accomplice, Luis Victoria, then attacked Julexis with a sharp weapon, killing her and removing her baby from her womb. Mosquera reportedly faked being pregnant before the attack, and after committing the murder, showed up at the hospital with the newborn, attempting to pass it off as her own. Doctors quickly discovered that she was lying, and she was arrested, but was later released until authorities could determine where the child had come from. Thankfully, the baby girl has since been reunited with her biological father. Victoria and Mosquera are now both facing charges of kidnapping and murder. If you're a fan of the new series, don't forget to tell us in the comments section below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Thank you for watching.